On my 22nd birthday, my grandpa handed me his $120 million company. 20 minutes later, my mom tried to give it to her new husband. When I refused, she told me to get out of her house. Grandpa heard it all and dropped a bomb that left them speechless. My dad died in a car crash when I was 7. My mom remarried fast to a guy who talked like every sentence was a sales pitch. Bluetooth in his ear, sunglasses indoors. I partner with investors. In reality, he lit money on fire. And in our home, I was the leftover piece from a life she wanted erased. Grandpa was the only adult who spoke to me like I had a brain. He built an auto repair empire from one busted shop in the 70 seconds. He taught me balance sheets before I was 12, and by 16, I was sitting in board meetings, listening. I assumed he'd eventually sell the company or hand it to an executive. I never imagined he'd hand it to me. So when he invited everyone to his mansion for my birthday, I expected polite smiles and fake family photos. I didn't expect him to stand up mid-dessert and say he was stepping down as CEO. Then he looked at me. 51% is yours, he said. Effective immediately. My mom's smile froze. Her husband dropped his fork. I barely had time to breathe before my mom yanked me into the marble hallway, nails digging into my arm. Moving forward, he'll be acting CEO, she said, like my signature was optional. I said, no. Her voice turned icy. Don't embarrass me. I didn't whisper. He can't keep a business alive for 6 months. That's when she jabbed a finger toward the front door. Pack your things. You're done here. Then the slow part happened. I heard footsteps behind us. Next, Grandpa's cane tapped once. Then he stopped beside me, calm as ever. After that, my mom forced a laugh. Grandpa didn't smile. And finally, he said, you're confused about whose house this is. My mom blinked. Her husband smirked. Grandpa kept going. I transferred this home to her last week, quietly, legally, irrevocably. My mom went pale. The smirk slid off her husband's face. Grandpa pointed at them. You're not welcome here anymore. Not in my home. Not in my company. Not in my legacy. He turned to me. Change the locks tomorrow. They left without a speech. Just angry silence. At 1 a.m., my mom texted. I overreacted. Let's talk tomorrow. I didn't reply. Because at breakfast, Grandpa slid a thick envelope across the table. Inside were documents that hit harder than the company transfer. My mom had been removed from every will, trust, and backup plan almost 5 years earlier. Grandpa told me her husband had approached him behind her back, hinting they'd sell everything the second Grandpa was gone. So Grandpa played along while quietly shifting assets and installing me as the successor. Then he told me why he was doing it now. Terminal cancer, 3 months, maybe 6. My throat closed. Grandpa didn't let me collapse. No pity, he said. Use the time. That afternoon, I called an emergency board meeting. As majority owner, I cleaned house. I fired the 2 executives my mom's husband had been cozying up to. I promoted 2 veteran VPs Grandpa trusted for decades. Legal sent a cease and desist because the man was already calling managers as incoming director. By nightfall, he was erased from the system. 2 days later, my mom showed up at the mansion with him, dressed like they still owned the place. I met them outside. She tried rational for about 10 seconds. The moment I mentioned the revised inheritance, her mask cracked. She called me ungrateful. She claimed she raised me alone, like she hadn't treated me like baggage. Then she actually begged. Give him an advisory role, she said. We're family. This should stay in the family. I said, it is staying in the family. In my hands. She asked what she was supposed to do now. I said, get a real job like everyone else. After that, she finally left. Grandpa and I spent his last months together. Breakfasts, reports, arguments, stories. 3 months later, he passed in his sleep. The funeral was private. My mom tried to crash it. Security turned her away. A year later, the company's thriving. We expanded into EV services and reinvested into the community. I still live in the mansion, but I turned half of it into a development center for women in trades. My mom, last I heard, her husband left once the money was gone. She once told me I was too soft to survive. She was wrong. I wasn't soft. I was steel she helped forge, and she never saw the fire coming.